Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This video, we need to talk about how to provide feedback to students. As a language teacher, as a teacher, we need to provide feedback after the students conducted the assessment. So, this video is made after the fourth skill, listening, reading, writing, is conducted in the class. So, the teachers needs to give feedback to the students. So, this video, we will talk about how to give an effective feedback, how to give simultaneous feedback, so that the learners, after the teacher give the feedback, the learners feel they need to improve, they feel better, they are confident to practice more, okay, on their language proficiency. Okay, we will begin. Okay, the aims of providing feedback is that teachers can provide feedback so that the greatest possible effect is attained. Okay, so let's come to this material in here. When you become a student, then what kind of feedback you think is better for you? What kind of feedback that can make you happy in the class given by the teacher? So you can think about that. Before we go further, then we need to study this first. Feedback as a formative assessment. The role of feedback. Okay, the feedback here is rolled. Feedback must be related to the learning aims. Okay, the principle here, the real feedback must be related to the purpose of learning, the final destination. And in here, what this means is that when the students perform and the assessment of the performance is related to the final purpose of the student's capability. The main purpose of feedback is to reduce the gap between the current understanding and performance and goal. So the students feel that the activity here is needed to get the goal. Okay, so there is no gap between the goal and the material and the practice. There is no gap. It is very useful to get the goal for the students. So the teacher need to think about this. Where I'm going, what are the goals first, then how to get the goals, how to make the material or the practice is related with the goal. What progress am I making toward the goals? Okay, and then the next is, what do I need to do to make better progress? This is what the teacher need to do to give feedback to students. Think about these three phases first. All of the questions above require learner self-reflection. It can help learners better understand how to develop their language skills. When they have the opportunity to ask questions concerning particular aspect of their learning after every time they are assessed. Okay, let's come to this activity here. There are several statements. In here there are several statements. There are 4, and this is the kind of the typical of a statement here. Statement here is given by the teacher, and you as the students, what do you feel when the teacher say something like this? A. Here, some of the expression you use did not sound English. Okay, when the teacher say something like this for you, and what do you feel? Hey, your expression is not English sound. What do you feel as a student? And B, the idea in your essay were not clearly expressed, were very clearly expressed. You managed to get your point across. What do you feel? Do you feel better? Yeah, of course. And with the statement A, you do not feel better. because when you are said that your expression did not sound English, then you will feel distressed, you will feel pressed by the teacher, you are feel that you are a full student, and it comes to your psychological condition to feel inferiority. Overall, I felt you deserve B grade. Why not A? Why not C? B. And the last is the statement. You might want to read some teen magazines. They are a good way to learn idioms because they use such typical language, and they can be fun too. Okay, this is a suggestion from your teachers to improve your ability. And we can classify these statements into this one. Strength is B. The ideas on the essay were very clearly expressed. It gives students strength. And weakness, A. Show students weakness, make students feel weak. Some of the expression you use did not sound English. Okay, for example, blah blah blah. And then improvement to be made. The teachers want students to improve their works. So this is the point D statement. You might want to read some teen magazines. They are a good way to learn idiom because blah blah blah. It makes students to study more, and students feel comfortable, students feel confidence. Yeah. Oh, I have a good work, and however I just only need to do this to improve my to improve my work better. This is what students feel. Then assessment result. It directed to assessment result. Overall, I felt you deserve B grade. This is for just conclusion, but however, a teacher in a formative or in a formal class, just like university or regular school, is very rarely to use this kind of feedback. Okay, and this is also provided by the writer here. Statement, the statement of the feedback, and whether as a student it is helpful or unhelpful. Okay, do you know the Lossy method? It might help you remember words better. Helpful or not? It is helpful, I think. Vocabulary is your greatest weakness. You need to study harder. Helpful or not? No, I think it is not helpful, because the teacher show directly, and yeah, your use of tense is catastrophe. You did a good job. Is helpful or not? I think it is not helpful. Your use of tense, it is a catastrophe. Vocabulary box can be useful for memorizing new words. It is helpful. It is directly to the solution to improve the students' vocabulary. It is different with this one, only criticizing without giving a solution. Yeah, so teachers need this rather than this, need 5 rather than 2. So I think this is helpful here. Okay, there are many others feedback here that the teacher expressed in the classroom. And next, we are asked to watch a video to give a clear example. Check this video in here. Yeah. Okay, feedback types. Topic 2. The effective teacher feedback must support students. must support students' learning rather than only judge. Okay? Support, not only judge their learning outcome. Feedback must be comprehensible. It means the students understand the essence of the feedback. And then the teacher must communicate clearly and supportively. Communicate clearly and support. Clear and support. When the students do not feel supported, then he will feel inferior, inconfidence, so that they have no strength, they lost their spirit to learn, they lost their spirit to practice because they feel inconfidence. The mentality, the psychological condition of learners here is important. The teacher should furthermore enable the learners to reflect on their learning and support them to take action. Support to take action. Okay? Not give them a direct understanding, not give them a direct knowledge, but take action. Students need to take action to get the knowledge. Jangan dikasih tahu langsung. Jangan kasih ikan tapi kasih pancing. Gitu ya. And then the next is this activity. How can the teacher provide that stimulates self-reflection? How can the teachers provide feedback stimulates self-reflection? This is the example. Good eye contact and body language first. The second, mumbles a little should enunciate more clearly, particularly at the beginning of the sentence. So, clear. Speak clear. Overuse slangly expression. Gonna, wanna. You should reduce this kind of expression in the classroom. You do not need this. Just use in the formal language, just like going to, want to. Yeah. Remember that when providing feedback, we need to communicate clearly, enable the learners to reflect on their learning. And then this activity on task 2 is the activity for the classroom or teachers design the activity in the classroom to give the feedback. In here, conferencing is a method that includes both self-assessment. The teachers makes an appointment. This is the example of conferencing in the classroom. And this is also the example in here. Overall, before we come to the conclusion, this is, I think, the last discussion about feedback sheets and rubric. Okay, using feedback sheets is an efficient way to collect from and distribute feedback to learners. Feedback sheets wherein the specific information is methodically collected and given. There are generally 3 parts to feedback sheets. 3 parts. Description of level performance. Description of level performance. So the teacher describes the student's performance. Individual comments. The teacher gives comments to individual learners. And grade. This is optionally. Why optionally? Because grade is the final result and the assessment is process oriented. why giving a grade here is option. This is not what is it, not a must. And effective teachers feedback. Okay, to give the feedback effectively to students, I think we need to come to this table, the principle in providing feedback. First, feedback need to be personal, age appropriate. Look at your student's age. Different age has different psychological condition. So the language, the point of view should be matched with their age. Giving students feedback in for example, elementary school students and the university students feedback should be different in the point of view and language style, because it have the influence to their psychological condition. Contain comprehensible criteria. The feedback must be comprehensive. Students must know, understand what they need to do, what they need to study, what they need to feel. Okay. So students must understand. So the reaction of students can be matched with the feedback given. Be specific next. And then this is the important point, honor response. When the teacher gives feedback, teachers need to be honoring the students. Just think about this. Okay? And then provide successful and unsuccessful models. What was the goal? The goal of the material. Why was it rich or not rich? Combine positive and negative feedback. This is the technique. Not positive. Not all feedback are positive, not negative or are positive. It means, what does it mean? It means give the students, let the students know their weakness and give the result and motivation at the same time. For example, I think this is not quiet enough to I think your speaking skill is not quite enough to describe this picture, but however you need to take a look at this example, however you need to take a look at this one, or however you need to practice more or develop more on your vocabularies or your grammar, for example. Or you can say something like, I think actually you have a good idea overall, but you need to express it more neatly. It means you need to think harder to express your idea. Okay, you got this? Positive and negative, the combination. Do not allow much time to lapse between the task and feedback. Okay, do not allow much time, karena nanti lupa. Discuss as a class after task, so direct feedback in the time. Give feedback to the whole class, balancing what they did well and where they need to improve. Or sometimes the weakness of a class has the same purpose or the same kind of weakness for the general students, for the whole class. So this is, for example, to give their to give them a motivation. to show their general weakness, to give them solution and give them motivation. Next is avoid only giving feedback at the end of the unit. The earlier learners receive feedback, more opportunity they have to improve. Not at the end of the unit, but sometimes it's direct in the middle of the assessment during the process. Oh, stop. You need to improve this one. How to improve it? Oh, before you continue, you need to read this first. Oh, stop, you have a good idea, but I think it's better for you to read this one to make your elaboration better. Something like that. Okay. Learners should be able to address the teacher about feedback received after having thought about it. Learners should respond to teachers' feedback. Learners should respond. Do they agree? Do they know what consequences it will have on their learning? They should know this. You do this and you will become better. You do this and your understanding will improve. Your skill will improve. It is effective to hold grades back until learners have responded in writing. It is special in writing. Hold grades back. So grades given to students after writing, especially in writing class. Okay, I think this is all for the feedback. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.